Bill, great having you here, my friend.
It's great to see you, Governor.
You know, Bill, I think you may be the most colorful human being I've ever known in my life. What a career. You started with the Secret Service. You worked right during the Kennedy assassination and was in Fort Worth dealing with the Oswald family immediately afterwards. So, I mean, what an incredible moment of history you witnessed firsthand.
And I just got back from the Texas School Book Depository where they did an oral history. They've been trying to get me to do it for years, and I did it by phone, but finally agreed to come back and do it on camera. And I felt a duty to do that because of the history I did experience in the assassination investigation.
And then you worked in the White House with Lyndon Johnson during his presidency for a while. And then, of all things, you wanted to go to law school, become a lawyer, go back to Arkansas, and you became a very successful trial lawyer. And then you decided, well, that's not enough, so you become an entertainment attorney and represent the Rolling Stones and a whole bunch of other entertainment people. Good grief, Bill. What were you thinking?
Well, I never really thought anything. My whole life has been one of divine guidance. Just opportunities came my way, and I had, I guess, the courage to take advantage of those opportunities. But
tell me about Keith Richards, because you got him out of trouble on more than one occasion.
He's the most honest person I may have ever met. He's the same person 24 hours a day. He never changes. And I think that's really important. He also is nothing like his image. A few years ago in 2008, Keith called me one night and said, I'm coming to Nashville. I want to get together with you because I'm writing my book, his biography of his life. And he said, you know, my mind's a little fuzzy.
I wonder why.
So Keith was a heroin addict for a number of years, and we were successful in curing him from the use of heroin. But so he came to Nashville, and we spent the day talking about some of those events that he couldn't recall. And he asked me that day what I was doing, and we were just visiting, and I said, well, I started a foundation in my hometown of Rector, Arkansas to help disadvantaged kids. And that's pretty much what was said. Well, he went back to New York, and in a few days, the office called me and said, are you going to be home Wednesday? You're going to receive a package, you'll have to sign for it. Well, that package was a guitar from Keith, signed with a letter of authentication and a photo of him signing it, to donate to the foundation in Rector, Arkansas. That guitar brought $100,000 for the kids.
Wow. Wow.
And no other Stones bothered sending me anything. It was just Keith. But that's who he is.
You had remarkable negotiating skills, and when the Stones wanted to come to America to do concerts, they were banned back in the 70s, and you took what you knew from being a Secret Service agent and protecting a president. You put a plan together, presented it to the State Department, and said, here's how we can do concerts that won't turn into a bloodbath and a riot. And they accepted it.
The Stones had Harvard-educated lawyers in New York and Washington, D.C., and I call them the Harvard blue suits. And I went to the University of Arkansas to law school, so so they all referred to me as a hick lawyer from Arkansas. Now, how did I do what those big, powerful law firms couldn't do? You'll understand this because I was born in Rector, Arkansas.
Yes, sir.
And I had common sense. The second thing I had was Congressman Wilbur Mills.
Yes, I remember.
He was my mentor. He referred the Stones to me, and he referred Jimmy Hoffa to me as a client.
And where is he now? Do we know? Go ahead. Tell us, Bill. We've been waiting for 45 years.
Unfortunately, I talk about it in my book, and I believe the Mafia story that the Mafia hit him and did away with his body, cremated it, and did away with it in Detroit.
And I just want to say, I was not saying anything unkind about the Mafia. They're a great bunch of people. Nothing wrong. Go ahead.
But
And you've represented people from Reba McEntire. You helped her in the early stage of her career when she took off and became a worldwide sensation. We've talked about the Rolling Stones, but at the other end of the spectrum, one of the people you've worked with most and have been a producer for is Bill Gaither.
Yeah.
And the Gaither Homecoming.
Absolutely.
Now, that's kind of crossing the arc there, Bill.
Well, Gaither always introduced me, say, well, this is Bill Carter. He started out with the Rolling Stones, and he's now with the Gaither family. So he's headed in the right direction.
Well, I'm going to tell you, people who have never read this book, they really should get it. I picked it up a few years ago, read it, and it was one of the most fascinating, fun, entertaining, and insightful reads. And one of the things I loved about it is what you mentioned before. It's a lifetime of genuinely caring about people and using the kind of common sense that you grew up with in a small town and realizing that that's probably better than the best Harvard or Yale education that a man could have.
You know, I consider myself very blessed to have been born in Rector, Arkansas, to poor parents. And when I finished high school, I was on my own at 17. That was the rule in my family. They couldn't afford the kids to hang around. So that, to me, was the foundation of my character, my life. And I'm so grateful that I did grow up in a poor, small town in Arkansas. And I know it did great things for you as well.
It has. I wouldn't trade my upbringing for anything in the world.
Absolutely.
And you're a fascinating guy, Bill.
Thank you. I appreciate you.
I love you. You're a dear friend, and I'm so glad you're here. I love that guy. I'm going to tell you something. We barely touched on all of the jaw-dropping stories from the amazing life of Bill Carter. Now, I have a feeling you want to learn more, and you can get your own copy of this Can't Put It Down autobiography called Get Carter. Visit him on the web at BillCarterOnline.com. That's BillCarterOnline.com.